Erect at Will saved my marriage.
Erect at Will changed my life.
I'm super happy to report that my urologist just called me. He told me that my erectile dysfunction has been completely reversed.
What if I told you that there is a magical, all-natural, ancient Japanese erection sex shake that is so powerful it forces your body to produce rock-hard erections at will? This is the exact same sex shake that allowed this Japanese grandpa of 2 to be the world's oldest living porn star at the age of 82. In fact, here are some of his porno DVD covers. Here's another porno he starred in. And finally, this one. Yes, at age 82, Shigeo Tokuda is able to summon Superman-style erections at will and on command. And most shockingly, he does this 100% naturally without relying on any sort of drugs such as Viagra or Cialis, using this one-of-a-kind Japanese sex shake that actually tastes ridiculously good. If you're suffering from ED of any sort, then make sure you pay very special attention, because in the next few moments, I'm going to tell you how to make this deliciously tasting sex shake that allows you to become erect on will in this very presentation. And I'm going to reveal it to you absolutely free today. This amazing sex shake will absolutely work for you, regardless of your age or sexual history. In fact, as long as you keep watching, I'm going to show you how to produce erections stronger than steel. And I'm not just talking about any erection. No. I'm talking about producing erections so earth-shattering strong that will make any woman you impale scream in pleasurable sexual delight. But you must watch this presentation to the very end, because I cannot guarantee how long this presentation will remain free for much longer. If you are watching this, it means you have been selected to participate in an exclusive and totally confidential online test group. Let me show you for free this astonishing, extraordinary, and 100% natural ancient Japanese sex shake that works better than Viagra with 0 side effects. So you too can produce at will the most virile, long-lasting, and potent Superman-style erections that will give any woman lucky enough to have you toe-curling, screaming, and squirting orgasms, starting tonight. My name's Ronald Richards, and erectile dysfunction, ED, nearly killed me. I know it might sound overdramatic, but trust me, ED nearly cost me my marriage, my kids, my family, my health, and almost my life. I'll tell you about my shocking and embarrassing story in a moment. Before I continue, let me assure you right now, if you are suffering from any form of erectile issues, trust me, I have been there myself, and you are not alone. What you're going to learn in a few minutes will absolutely change your life. I'm going to reveal to you this amazing yet unusual ancient ED-curing sex shake that allows me to summon the most potent and pulsating erections that gives my wife leg-shaking orgasms each and every time. It doesn't matter how old you are. This works for men experiencing ED in their 20s to men in their 80s. It doesn't matter how long you've suffered from ED, whether you've experienced can't-get-it-up problems recently or have it plaguing you for years. And it doesn't even matter if you've tried erectile creams, pills, injections, pumps, or anything else. What we're going to show you isn't some sort of Band-Aid treatment. It's not a short-term fix to hide the problem and cover the symptoms. I'm talking about resolving the problem at the root cause and actually eradicating your ED at its very core. In this presentation, you will discover a scientifically proven method to reverse your ED. I'm going to show you an all-natural and permanent cure with 0 side effects whatsoever. In fact, once you try this method, you'll experience erections more powerful than the ones you had during your teenage years. I want you to feel how confident you will be when you instantly produce thick, throbbing, and thundering erections. Just imagine how great you'll feel when your woman is licking the side of your veiny shaft as she worships your huge pulsating manhood with her tongue. And the best thing is, you'll be able to do this at will. As soon as you command, blood around your body will start rapidly flowing towards the vessels inside your penis, allowing you to be erect at will. In the past, virile knowledge of this nature was a strictly kept secret, only to be shared with worthy sexual elites. But now, finally, it is available to everyday average Joes like you and me. However, I can only reveal this secret to a select few that are truly worthy of such powerful information and are desperate for a permanent solution to their ED problems. This is why, in order to continue, you must agree to the following 3 simple rules to be accepted into our private test group. And trust me on this, every single man that has been lucky enough to qualify for this test group has had his erectile problems resolved in less than 24 hours. Yes, I'm talking about a 100% success rate so far. Just imagine the kind of sexual power you'll wield when you can instantly muster stone-shattering, rock-hard, Superman-style erections that are even more potent than the ones you experienced in high school. However, this time, unlike back in high school, you'll be able to control this new sexual power at will. Gone will be the days when you get a stiffy at the wrong times. Instead, within just 3 seconds of any sexual desire, you will actually feel the massive buildup of blood inside, and as you look down, you'll summon erections more powerful than Samson from the Bible. Then imagine the look of sexual lust and glee as you turn your gaze towards the woman that will be begging at your feet, waiting to feast upon your manhood and dripping with desire for you to plow her until she becomes weak at her knees. Yes, you're going to be able to do this 100% naturally. No pills, no pumps, no surgery or injections, 0 side effects. And this will be a permanent and long-lasting solution to your ED problems. All this and much, much more can be given to you as long as you agree to the following 3 simple rules. Rule number 1. You must give me your complete and undivided attention, because if you miss a few moments of this presentation, you might miss the only way that you will reverse your ED naturally, quickly, and permanently. Rule number 2. You agree to not use your newfound sexual superpower to ruin the relationships of others. You must agree to use this ethically and not abuse your power. And rule number 3. Once you cure your ED, you will not judge and mock others for having the same problem. If you agree with these simple 3 rules, you can continue watching this presentation. By the way, we have already received cease and desist letters from Big Pharma, and they are threatening to take this website and our servers down. The reason is simple. They know this all-natural solution works better than Viagra and Cialis because it has 0 side effects. This is unlike conventional dick pills, where you are forced to have a huge and often painful erection for hours on end. Viagra and Cialis come with side effects such as headaches, nostril problems, and a desensitized penis. So even though in theory you can finally get it up, you can't actually enjoy the benefits of your boner. This doesn't happen when you use my method. Using this, you only get erect when you desire with no negative side effects. I don't know if you know this, but the ED industry is a multi-billion-dollar empire. So obviously, these giant pharmaceutical companies want to shut down any competitor that provides a permanent and all-natural cure to reverse ED. That is why this website may go down at any moment. Who knows? Tomorrow, it might just suddenly disappear. So I once again ask you to block out all distractions and give me your undivided attention. Let me share with you my very own humiliating yet true story. I'm only sharing this with you because I know you won't judge me as a fellow ED sufferer, and only we know this pain. They say that you never know what you have until it's gone. That was definitely me when I was a teenager. I can remember back in the day, I was waking up with morning wood so stiff that I'd have to stand over the top of the toilet with one hand stretched over, with legs wide apart, Superman style, to pee into the bowl. And then during class, for no apparent reason, I'd get another erection. This was really embarrassing because it'd appear at all the wrong times. It's kind of funny to think about it, but when I was 14, I actually wished those raging boners would permanently stop. Until years later, now in my mid-40s, I was actually desperate and would give anything to have erections like that once more. Fast forward a few years. I was married to the love of my life, Kiko. I met her when I first moved to Japan almost 20 years ago. I remember back then, we'd have the kind of sex life that you would only see in porn movies. I was hooked by Kiko because she was sexually adventurous and also bisexual. I thought I was the luckiest man alive, and for a few years, I was. Kiko and I got married, and I brought her back from Japan. However, as time progressed, slowly but surely, it was getting harder and harder for me to get an erection. Or when I was able to get it hard, it wasn't stiff enough as it once was. Kiko kept asking me what was wrong, and I always had to come up with an excuse. I told her it was stress from my high-paying programming job, or it was my unhealthy eating habits. We went from having sex from every day to a few times a week to less than a few times a month. Finally, we were not having sex at all. Kiko was getting severely worried. And one day, she wanted to surprise me with what should have been the night of my life. Kiko actually paid for a high-end prostitute to have a threesome with us. Picture this. I had 2 gorgeous women dressed in skin-tight, sexy lingerie. One was kissing me, and the other was fondling me down there. And after 25 minutes, they were still there frantically stroking my now shrunken and dried-up penis. I felt ashamed and embarrassed beyond belief. I closed my eyes and tried to picture the dirtiest and kinkiest porn scenes I could, but nothing worked. The girls pulled out all the tricks they could muster, but the more they tried, the sorrier and smaller my dick became, until finally, after 1 hour and 30 minutes of shriveled embarrassment, I actually asked them to stop. The girls looked at each other, sighed, then got up to get dressed. As she turned away, I saw the look on Kiko's face that a husband will never forget. The complete look of revulsion and disgust. Now trust me, as sickened as she was with me, I was feeling 1,000,000 times worse. I mean, I literally couldn't get it up for a threesome with two gorgeous women just begging for me to put it inside them. How freaking sad was that? So after that experience, as you can imagine, I avoided having sex even more. In fact, there were times when Kiko would start pulling out sex toys and pleasuring herself beside me, then start rubbing my crotch. I'd have to roll around and pretend that I wasn't in the mood. Heck, it got to the point that I actually started faking medical conditions and asking to sleep in the other room. Basically, I was looking for any reason to escape having sex with my wife. Now you might be wondering what causes ED and how do you get rid of it? According to the American Medical Journal, erectile dysfunction is a very common occurrence. In fact, over 86% of men above the age of 40 will suffer from ED in one form or another. ED is actually common for men of all ages, and you don't have to be above a certain age to get it. Symptoms of ED include the inability to get hard or maintain a solid erection. Others include premature ejaculation, or having erections softer than before. Or if you need to constantly watch porn in order to get hard, then you also have ED. So what exactly happens to your anatomy when you suffer from ED? Well, basically, it means that your body is unable to increase blood circulation to the vessels surrounding your penis in order for it to expand into an erection. This is caused by a variety of factors, some of which include lifestyle habits, work-induced stress, and your diet. So I decided to make an active change in my life. First, I asked my brother Frank if he was experiencing anything like this to see if we had any family history. His answer was, I get a stiffy every day. It's because I eat healthy. So after Googling foods that were good for erections, I was taking garlic pills, dark chocolate, ginseng, and other roots, fruits, and weird herbs that were supposed to treat ED. Next, I gave up my drinking habits and completely stopped smoking cold turkey. After a few weeks, I had an appointment with a urologist who did the standard tests on me and concluded that I didn't have any visible abnormalities. He then gave me a prescription for Cialis. This hurt my ego because taking Cialis felt like I was cheating on my wife Kiko. But out of desperation, in a bid to save my marriage, I gave it a shot. Now don't get me wrong, Cialis worked just as advertised. In fact, it worked too well. A few minutes after popping the pill, my penis was so hard it started to swell up, followed by painful headaches and severe nasal congestion. Next, I tried using Viagra, then tried yet another ED drug. But each and every time, my body was having severe negative reactions to the side effects. What's worse was that even though these drugs made my penis as stiff as steel, it also made me completely desensitized. Using those pills, I'd be able to have painful and non-pleasurable sexual marathons for hours. Soon it became obvious to my wife that my sudden sexual prowess was coming from dick pills. This put further strains on our marriage. We started to argue a lot more about silly things. Kiko became insecure about our relationship and worried I was no longer attracted to her. It had been weeks since I made love to Kiko. She was beginning to suspect I was seeing another woman, because I was making excuses to stay back at the office more and more. This whole ED thing was slowly destroying every aspect of my life. I actually received a few warnings from the feminist HR department as my workstation was flagged several times for visiting inappropriate websites at work. So the only time I could research about my problem was in the privacy of my own home when Kiko wasn't around. But this only made things worse, because it looked like I had something to hide. Each time my wife would walk into the room, I would frantically close the laptop lid. I didn't want her to see that I was spending so much time obsessing about erections. Eventually, things got so bad that my marriage was being torn apart. Due to my suspicious behavior, Kiko suspected I was seeing another woman at work, thus causing more fights and arguments. The only person who truly understood my situation was my older brother Frank, and he told me that a bit of recreational cocaine would be a great help. I was becoming more and more miserable, and in a desperate attempt to save my marriage, I booked a special romantic for my wife and I. Frank told me that if I combined cocaine with Viagra, in theory, I would be able to get the benefits of Viagra without the headaches and nasal congestion. Although this wasn't the best solution, I really wanted to save my marriage. And that's how I ended up waking up in the hospital with my wife, Kiko, and my brother Frank at my bedside. I heard my doctor saying, Viagra's effects is that it opens the veins and capillaries. So if you're using other drugs or alcohol that lowers your blood pressure and influence how your heart works, it's a real problem. With cocaine, it raises your heart rate, and that can be a very deadly combo. What happened was that my wife had come back home to find me unconscious on the couch. Turns out I collapsed in the living room after mixing Viagra, cocaine, and alcohol. I looked at her, expecting her to hand me divorce papers at any time, but instead, she looked into my eyes and told me that Frank had told her everything. She held my hand tightly and said that she'd never let me go, and we'd find a way to fix this together. I felt like I was the luckiest man with no penis alive. But I was too ashamed to sleep beside my wife. After all, do I even deserve to call myself her husband? I knew that my wife was a very sexual creature, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I married her. And since I wasn't giving her what she needed, eventually she'll have to find what she needs with someone else. I felt depressed and decided to lay on the couch alone with my iPad. As I scrolled through the Facebook newsfeed, I suddenly came across this amazing headline. World's oldest male porn star gets paid to have sex at age 82 using ancient Japanese sex secret. My eyes lit up. The more I read, the more I was intrigued. You see, Japanese nobility and emperors were well known for being extremely virile, and having multiple concubines was the norm. And that's not counting their other massive harems of women, which constantly grew larger as their clan cut a swath across Japan and conquered new lands. Each time they conquered rival clans, as a show of dominance, the victorious warlord would make it a point to impregnate each and every one of the women in the opposing clan. But what was most impressive was that these warlord families spawned so many children, it numbered in the tens of thousands. In fact, today, it is said that 1 in 150 Japanese men can trace their lineage to these ruling families. Remember, these guys were literally killing and impregnating their way from one end of Japan to the other at a time when modern medicines and drugs like Viagra, injections, and penis pumps weren't even invented yet. How much sex were these guys having? This made me even more intrigued, and the more I dug, the more shocked I became. I started looking into the history behind the world's oldest male porn star, and what I further discovered was even more astounding. That's when I came across this headline: Japanese porn needs more male porn stars. According to the article, there are only 70 or so male adult stars in Japan, but there are at least 10,000 adult video actresses, and there are at least 4,000 porno movies released every month. Now let's do some quick math. Let's pretend each movie from the 4,000 released is a simple guy-on-girl scene. On average, there are 3 scenes of this type in every movie. That is 4,000 multiplied by 3, coming to 12,000 scenes. So 12,000 scenes divided by a pool of 70 guys. This means, on average, a male Japanese porn star needs to have sex 171 times a month, which means, on average, they need to have sex 5.7 times a day, assuming no one took holidays and they were having sex each and every day, 365 days a year, 7 days a week. Also, the use of Viagra and Cialis is heavily frowned upon in Japanese porn, so actors who need to rely on dick pills don't get a lot of work. So how the hell do these Japanese male porn stars do it completely naturally? For the next few weeks, I became obsessed and was determined to get to the bottom of this. After weeks of tedious research, I finally found remnants of a fertility formula recipe that was passed down in an ancient Japanese manuscript. In fact, it was said that all the samurai warlords and nobilities used this secret. And further, it matched various descriptions of what current Japanese male porn stars were doing in modern times. And I was shocked at how easy it was. It didn't involve annoying exercises. It didn't involve weird gel queen routines. It didn't involve eating weird herbs or anything like that. It was 100% natural and worked better than Cialis or Viagra. There were 0 side effects. The results were instant and automatic. And, most importantly, it was permanent. In fact, in several clinical trials, old Japanese men from nursing homes who were completely impotent for years or decades were able to reverse their condition completely within hours of using it. What's kind of gross was that after rediscovering the cure to ED, the nursing home had a sudden epidemic of sexually transmitted diseases. Now, I didn't want to think too much about old people having disgusting STD sex. I already had ED problems and didn't need that kind of mental image. So as soon as I could, I went to the grocery store to gather all the ingredients, and that afternoon, I actually tried testing it myself. And amazingly, within minutes, I could feel a rush of blood flowing down there. I could physically feel the capillaries inside my penis open up and had a semi-hard tingling but floppy boner within seconds. As soon as I noticed the signs of life down there, I started to watch Japanese porn to celebrate my first small erection in a long time. And of course, the first porn movie I watched starred the 82-year-old Shigeo Takuda. Although my initial experiment was somewhat successful, it was not a resounding success. Despite it being promising, I didn't get the type of erection that I had desired. It needed some extra tweaking to get oomph I was looking for. I knew this was possible because I saw it with my own eyes watching Mr. Shigeo Takuda naturally summon erections at will for a threesome. So for the next few months, I did more research and experimentation. Eventually, I let Kiko know about my project, and she was more than delighted to help me out. To spice things up, we'd actually watch Japanese porn together to get extra ideas. Before you know it, our sex life was starting to happen again. Initially, I still wasn't able to get it super hard every time, but it was a lot better than before. I also noticed that my stamina was improving and I needed a lot less time to recharge for round 2. My wife also commented on the size of my loads. Now they were much thicker and were more of a mouthful for her. At first, it would take me at least 12 hours to recharge. But now, after unloading a huge satisfying load blast, I could get it up again and keep going 30 minutes later. But I knew I could do better. I wanted to get instant rock-hard throbbing erections and have the ability to summon them at will, just like my 82-year-old Japanese porn star hero. So I kept trying and trying. Then suddenly, it happened. Finally, after making a few more adjustments to the formula and tweaking the recipe into a delicious-tasting sex shake, I was able to summon at will mighty erections stronger than Samson from the Bible. For the next 12 hours, Kiko and I tried every sexual position we could imitate from Japanese porn. Then on top of that, we made up some of our own. Round after round, she challenged me, and each time I stood up firm and strong and accepted her carnal knowledge. After hours of nonstop lovemaking, I proved without a shadow of a doubt to my wife that her hero had come back from the dead, and this was evidenced by her naked and shaking body that was drenched with sweat and covered in our love juices. In fact, not only had I returned, I had come back a completely changed man. That was more than 9 months ago. From that memorable night, I haven't had any ED relapse either. In fact, my erections and virility have only become better and better. Now I can call forth potent, pulsating, throbbing erections at will. Within just seconds, I can unlock my newfound sexual superpowers and tame my wild tiger Kiko in the sheets into submission. My family life is now better than ever, and we couldn't be happier. I did all of this because, unlike most so-called ED treatments that hide the symptoms, I addressed ED at the root cause and permanently reversed my sexual impotency. I didn't have a name for it at first, but eventually I came up with Erect at Will. By now, Erect at Will has helped over 13,300 men all across the world. Every day, I receive gushing success stories from guys of all ages, from all backgrounds, who've experienced incredible results from this drop-dead easy secret. In fact, Erect at Will is the actual secret currently used by top adult Japanese film stars to get the job done. Remember, these guys on average need to have sex 5.7 times a day without the use of dick pills. By the way, those were guys who tried the beta version of Erect at Will. Since then, Erect at Will has been upgraded and improved with more tips and tricks to get you harder than the man of steel. This course will hold you by the hand and walk you through the steps, so within moments of getting your hands on it, you'll be able to reverse your ED forever and become a rock-hard stud in the bedroom. Every time. It's drop-dead simple to use, and to make sure that your success is guaranteed, you can even contact us anytime you want to ask a question about the course or about your own situation. This is really just the tip of the iceberg. Due to time limitations, I can only tell you about 10% of what you'll discover inside the full course. You should also know that although this is a new product, you are no guinea pig. Before I even recorded this presentation, I'd already treated more than 13,300 men all across the world. Remember, this is the only course on the market that shows you the timeless sexual secrets used by mighty warrior warlords of old. It's also the secret weapon that the top Japanese male porn stars depend upon. Heck, it's also the secret method that my personal hero, Mr. Shigeo Takuda, uses to get paid to have sex on camera at the age of 82. And it's been proving to work for thousands of everyday men around the world between the ages of 20 and 80. The reason for this is simple. Erect at Will actually permanently solves the problem at a core level. It is not a temporary fix or a band-aid. Once your ED problems are reversed, they'll be forever eradicated for good, with a 100% success rate so far. There are no ifs, buts, or maybes. Plus, there are 0 side effects. Within moments of using this is what your life will be like. Imagine how confident you'll feel when you are free from the embarrassment, the shame, the frustration, the nagging sense that you're not man enough because of your limpness. Imagine the awesome sensation you'll have when you look at any woman you desire and have your member tall, stiff, and proud, staring directly at her. Imagine the look of lust and desire in her eyes as she sees your huge, pulsating, veiny, throbbing penis ready to ravage her. No longer will you need to come up with lame excuses for why you can't get it up. No longer will you need to wonder if your wife is truly satisfied with you. No longer will you feel insecure about your manhood, because now you'll know without a shadow of a doubt you're the only man that can satisfy her in the way she wants. How awesome would that feel? So you no longer feel embarrassed, ashamed, and frustrated at yourself. And what's worse is that it's not like something you can control. You are being punished by something that you didn't even ask for. And because of this ED curse upon your body, you're constantly needing to make up stupid excuses to justify why you're not capable of being a man. If you choose to walk away and do not reverse your ED with Erect at will, how many lame excuses can you come up with in an attempt to hide the problem? How much more do you want to disappoint your wife and leave her sexually frustrated because you can't fulfill your basic duties as a man? And finally, how much more time and money do you want to waste on bullshit treatments that only cover up the symptoms of ED? When using this, you will cure your problem at its core and reverse your ED permanently. I know you're thinking to yourself in the back of your mind, right now, you're secretly wondering and worrying if the woman that you can't satisfy might have to go looking for someone else. And when that day does come, is it really her fault? When you're the one that can't actually fulfill your primary duty as her husband, you and I both know this fact. ED isn't a small problem you can ignore and just hope it goes away. It eats away the intimacy you once had with your wife. It eats away at your confidence, your manhood, and if left untreated, it could very well cost you your marriage, your family, and everything you hold dear. That's why when you look at the costs involved in leaving your ED problem untreated, it can be completely devastating, physically, emotionally, and financially. Trust me, I learned the hard way and almost paid the ultimate price. You know my own story with ED and how sad my life was back then. I know firsthand how just treating the symptoms only prolongs the pain. So let me ask you a serious question. What kind of value would you place for the cure to permanently eradicate your ED permanently, restore your manhood, and make your wife worship you in the bedroom as her own personal sex god? Some men would gladly pay a fortune for that honor. And just think about the time and money you may have already wasted on pills, pumps, or other nonsense. Students of ours have said they would pay more than $1,997 just to get access to these secrets. But the good news is, I'm not going to make you pay that. I know what you're going through. The only difference is, I was lucky enough to stumble upon the hidden ancient secret that allowed me to develop this ED cure. So I'm not going to ask you to pay $1,997. It won't be $997. It won't even be $197. Your only investment today is a refundable deposit of only the price you see on this page. This is the bare minimum I need to cover the costs of keeping this website online. Please understand, in order to provide this information to you, I need to run and maintain this website. So every month, I need to pay monthly server costs, as well as pay our customer support team to be available to help you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But in the event that you're not wildly thrilled with the results you get from Erect at Will, I want you to remember that your deposit is 100% refundable. You can email us and get every penny back at any time over the next 60 days. I recommend that you access the course, learn the secrets, reverse your ED, and then decide whether you want your minimal deposit back. You've got a full 60 days to do so. As you can see, I've removed all the risk from you and put it on my own shoulders. Currently, we're reversing over 133 cases of ED a day worldwide. If Erect at Will doesn't give you full, lasting erections, and I'm not talking about just any erection, I'm talking about a thick, rock-hard penis of steel like you haven't felt in years, then I insist that you email my 24-hour customer support team at any time over the next 60 days and ask to have your deposit returned in full. You'll get it back, every penny, no questions asked. Now, since you've watched this far, I know that you're very interested. You're about ready to take action. Let me sweeten the deal by giving you the following fast action bonuses when you try Erect at Will today. Fast action bonus number 1, become her sex addiction, a $47 value. We're going to show you how to make your woman sexually addicted to you. Just a word of warning, once she does become addicted to you, she will be sexually obsessed. She'll want and need you morning, noon, and night. And thanks to Erect at Will, your soldier will be ready to charge into battle anytime, anywhere. So make sure you are prepared. Next, I'm going to give you fast action bonus number 2, premature ejaculation conqueror, a $97 value. Getting hard on command is what makes you a man, but staying hard long enough to rock her world is what makes you Superman. In this exclusive report, you're going to learn never-before-revealed tips and tricks for mastering your ejaculations, so that you never blow it too soon and always leave her utterly satisfied and in awe of your sexual power. So let me remind you what you're going to get today. Erect at Will, the permanent erectile dysfunction cure, $1,997 value. Bonus 1, become her sex addiction, a $47 value. Bonus 2, premier ejaculation conqueror, a $97 value. That's a $2,000 value you're getting when you give Erect at Will a try today, totally risk-free. Remember, this is the only course out there that reverses ED permanently by attacking the problem at its core. And in the event you decide to ask for your deposit to be returned, you'll still get to keep Erect at Will along with all the bonuses. That's the least I can do, to thank you for watching this presentation and giving this course a try. On the next page, you will submit your one-time refundable deposit through our secure checkout page. Your payment details and personal information will be kept completely confidential because this checkout page is encrypted with the latest 256-bit encryption technology. And to further protect your privacy, nothing about Erect at Will appear on your credit card or bank statement. The only thing that will show up will be a charge from ClickBank, which is the secure payment processor that we use. They process over 100,000 secure transactions daily. But you do need to act now. For reasons you now understand, I honestly don't know how much longer this website will be online. This means that if you do exit this page, you might be saying goodbye forever to the only true and permanent cure that will reverse your ED problem for good. Tell me, can you honestly say you've tried everything within your power to fix your ED so that your wife feels 100% satisfied and secure with you? If you haven't tried Erect at Will, then you know the answer is no. And because you didn't try everything, can you actually blame your wife if she leaves you for another man when you are the one that isn't getting her sexual needs and desires fulfilled? And are you really okay with going through life feeling like less than a man? Not feeling secure and confident in your manhood, all because you suffer from a common, curable problem that you have the power to fix right now? We both know the answer to these questions. So now it's your time for you to click the order button below. Complete your checkout on the next page and get immediate access to the Erect at Will course plus all the fast action bonuses. I look forward to you being our next success story. Just last night, I heard from a man who was able to save his marriage after being served with divorce papers. That's the power of Erect at Will. It literally saves marriages and changes lives. And if you simply give it a shot, I'm sure it will also transform your life for the better just moments from now. Click the order button below and complete the checkout process. It only takes 30 seconds to fill out the form on the next page, and within 60 seconds, you'll have the complete Erect at Will cure right in front of you. Right now, you've basically got 3 options. Option 1, you can close this page and continue to live your life as usual and get the usual results with your sex life. More disappointment, embarrassment, and frustration. And your problem will only get worse, because when it comes to the health of your penis, it's either use it or lose it. If you have ED, you're already losing it. The muscle fibers and capillaries in your penis are deteriorating from inactivity. Do you really want to keep delaying until your penis literally shrivels up and falls off? Then there's option 2. You can use the knowledge you've gained from this presentation to try to figure this out on your own. But let's face it, unless you know the exact secrets that I'm going to show you in Erect at Will, no amount of trial and error is going to permanently fix the real underlying issues behind your ED. And then you have option 3. You can try out Erect at Will today and fix this problem once and for all by taking advantage of this incredibly generous limited time offer. You'll get the complete Erect at Will course plus the complete bonus package, all for a refundable deposit of the price you see on this page. Remember, this is valued at over $2,000. and it's worth far more than the price of the deposit. Simply click the order button below and complete your checkout process. Remember, you get to try this out for an entire 60 days before you decide whether you want to ask for your one-time refundable deposit back. If you watched this far, you must be convinced of two things. 1. You cannot afford to wait another day to handle your ED and fix it once and for all. And why would you want to wait when the cure is waiting for you on the next page and it's simple, safe, and all natural? 2. Because this offer is completely risk-free, it simply wouldn't make sense to pass up this opportunity or tell yourself maybe later. The next time you try to visit this website, it might very well be gone. Now is the time to reclaim your manhood. Click on the button below and then simply fill out the short form on the next page. It'll take 30 seconds tops. Don't forget, our checkout page is 100% safe and secure, and your details will be kept totally confidential. Nothing about Erect at Will appear upon your credit card or bank statement. The only thing that will show up will be a charge from ClickBank, which is our trusted and 100% secure payment processor. Once you complete your checkout, the complete Erect at Will course, plus all of the bonuses, will be available to you within less than 60 seconds. Click on the button below and take action right now. Don't wait any longer. You've been held back for too long by the lies and deceptions spread by the pharmaceutical industry. Now is the time to take charge and reclaim your happiness and your masculinity. Now is the time to permanently cure and reverse your ED so that the only people who lose out are the fat cat executives who have one less person to prey upon. Because you will join the ranks of our thousands of grateful students who are finally free. Now is the time to prove to your wife and your woman that you are the only man on this earth who can satisfy her deeply and fully. So don't delay any further. Click the button below and let's get started.